Oh, man.
You need to learn the rules. Here it comes! You need to learn the rules. Bob, do something!
Bob? Oh my god. What the hell?
Double kill. I stick up for my crew. Smoke them out of there!
How do I change heroes?
One shot, one kill. Impeccable. La veuve tisse. Double kill.
Man, I haven't played this game in like... Oh, Jesus. I haven't played this game in so long.
Impeccable.
Oh my goodness. And of course, because I haven't played this game in so long, my aim is absolutely horrendous.
The widow's kiss.
And my flick shots, they're not really flick shots, but they're really way off of course.
Impeccable. Parfait. Double kill. Watch your step. Adieu. Caught in my web.
Alright. This ought to be interesting. Let's go to... Let's see. Play. Competitive game browser. Just quick play. Jump into a game against other players at your skill level. Less than 3... Oh my god. There's like wait times? What? What is this? Earn loot box. Flex? Why is there even time? Game browser? Oh, Jesus Christ. Arcade? No, I don't want arcade. This is all wrong. They shouldn't be adding so many different things to the game. Select. Huh? What is this? Whatever. Special offer? I don't understand. They're trying to give me shit? What the fuck? Whatever. Hero gallery. So there's all these heroes I've never even played. I've never played any of these heroes. Actually, if you go to my profile, you can just see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different characters I haven't even played a single minute on. Because I haven't played this game in so long. If you look at the hero comparisons, I've played most of my time on Pharah, but my next most played is Widowmaker. When the game first came out, Widowmaker was pretty much my primary character. I love Widowmaker, even though I wasn't that great at Widowmaker, but I love. You can see, I was about 50% win. Actually, it's funny that I was actually more... I won more games on Widow than I did on Pharah, at least percentage-wise, which is pretty interesting. That's actually really interesting. Time spent on fire, 2 hours. Games lot, win percentage. Yeah, but then if you go back, I think the character I won have the best winning percentage on is probably, I think it's Torbjorn. Whenever I played Torbjorn, I have a 66% win percentage. And I also like Anna quite a bit. My win percentage is 56% on Anna. But I like Anna, she's fun. But like I said, I haven't played this game, and I think, to me, this is a failing of these games nowadays is, and I talked about this I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, it's just feeling that game companies have, like, they have to constantly evolve the game, especially Blizzard. They feel like they have to keep rolling out new heroes and new stuff, and I don't really 100% agree with that. I think if you roll too many things out too quickly, players get overwhelmed, and it's very difficult to balance. Overwatch, when it launched, was a great game, and now people look at it as not a great game, to be honest. And if you wouldn't have changed it so much, just left it the way it was, it'd still be, guess what, a great game. But you fucked with it, and you fucked it up. And that's one thing that Blizzard has proven in the last few years that they're really good at. It's taking a good game and screwing it up. Damage, tank, support. What do we want? That says while you wait. Oh, I can do stuff while I wait. Quick play, PC pool searching. I remember, it didn't take long to get into games, you know?
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Lights out. Enemy double kill. quiet time. خلصنا الهدف. This is going to hurt.
Wow, you can't even get into a... Like, you have to wait to get into a game. Unbelievable. Like, I remember, like, when you used to play this game, when you queued for a game, I mean, it was just instant. Yeah, it was just literally instant. Oh, wow. It's how far the mighty have fallen. Yeah, that's just sad. Oh, man. What was that one game? Like Valiant? I don't think I've ever played Valiant. I think Valiant looked kind of interesting. I don't know if it was a Steam game. I think I did play Valiant once for like 2 minutes. And I think I sucked at it. I'm terrible at FPS now because it's just been so many years since I really did any FPS. Okay, so Valiant. Isn't Valiant like a free game too? Let's take a look. And there's that other game too. Now is that? I think that is on. Was it Paladins? Oh no, I didn't like Paladins because there's too much. I didn't like the idea of Paladins because there's just too much stunning going on. Valiant games. It's spelled Valiant, isn't it? Valiant. Play Valorant. No, it's Valorant, not Valiant. There's Valiant. Play Valorant. Valorant. It's Steam, right? I completely misspelled it. Valorant. No. Okay, I guess it isn't on Steam. I think I tried to play Valiant. Let's take a look at the gameplay. It's like this thing's reading my mind.
Divide is gonna.
Doesn't really look like... I mean, it's hard for me to play these games anymore. I'm not really into FPS. Man, like I used to be. I used to be big time into FPS when I was younger. Like most young people today, you know, I mean, FPS is a young man's game. I hate to say it. I mean, you can still play it pretty good at a high level, even when you're older, but if you're like me and you haven't played FPS for like, 15, 20 years almost, it's pretty hard to come back and actually do it. Where is that? Let's see. I'll watch this Throne and Liberty again. Throne and Liberty. There was actually a 2017 trailer I didn't get a chance to finish watching. And let's see. Where is the Throne and Liberty trailer? I think it's this one. Was it this one? Yeah, it is this one. So this is the trailer that Throne and Liberty put out. What's really interesting about this trailer is that this was put out in 2017. So it's really interesting that Project TL, which has been in development for I think 11 years, if that's correct, really was going to be the successor. It was going to be like Lineage 3. And they went through all these different iterations back and forth of what it was going to be. And then it turned out, it kind of basically was coming along in the same vein as Lost Ark. And if you watch some of the gameplay, let's do some Project. see if we can find like. Well, here's like a Lineage Eternal. This is a Lineage Eternal beta, which I'm pretty sure is the same thing. Lineage Eternal wiki. And what's funny, when I did Lineage Eternal, guess what came up? Throne and Liberty. So let's go to. Well, this is the wiki. Let's go to this one again. I don't know if this one. Oh, so the game has suffered numerous delays during development. Okay, Throne of Liberty, also known as TL, is an upcoming massive multi-online role-player game. I'm hoping to see. Okay, it was announced in the game was first announced as Lineage Eternal in 2011. It's hard to believe. So 11 years ago, they announced Lineage Eternal. So basically, this is how this game came about. It was Lineage Eternal initially. And you can see the gameplay. Here's the gameplay from Lineage Eternal that had been in development for 6 years by the time this video came out.
Let's go for energy, I guess.
This guy looks like a big-time nerd. Yes. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But he looks like a big-time nerd. I gotta love it.
It's like a really good one. And I should also get a...
Okay, let's just
stop. What I need and what I don't
Stop
need.
talking and start killing. So what does this game look like to you guys? I mean, when people who watch this stream, if anybody watches this stream, it looks like Lost Ark.
Poker.
I mean, it's click to move,
are you
isometric view.
I don't think it's gonna be that much of a difference, though. It will be a difference, but I need two purple stuff, and like I need.
This guy talks entirely too much. So basically, you know, the game started out as Project Eternal, or as Lineage Eternal, which was going to be kind of like Lineage 3. And it started development in 2011, suffered numerous delays in its release schedule with the earliest beta testing plan. The first South Korean closed beta began in 2016. That video we were just looking was 2017, starting on November 3rd. So November 30th. So at the end of 2016, they went into beta. Then they rebooted the game as Project TL in the NCSoft Director Cut private event, which is interesting. The game, and then if you look at the development, it says the game has suffered numerous delays. NCSoft officially announced the game as Lineage Eternal as the sequel to the first Lineage, released in 1998, in November 8th, 2000. Lineage, which was released in 1998, November 8th. In November 8, 2011, the first gameplay was debuted, G-Star. And then in August 2013, NCSoft was preparing to roll out the beta schedule of Lineage Eternal by the end of that year. Developers plan to initiate beta testing towards the end of 2015. But during a conference call in November, they confirmed that closed beta testing would be delayed until 2016. In Q1 2017, during conference calls, NCSoft had said that the development team of Lineage Eternal had significant changes due to the change of game producer. I don't know, like... I mean, that's interesting that they say the significant changes were the game producers. The new team continued the development process of the game with a new target and changes to the game engine from a proprietary game engine that was used in Guild Wars to Unreal Engine 4. The game has changed to Project TL. So that's actually really interesting. So it's Unreal Engine 4, which makes sense to some degree, because what we saw in the Project TL trailer that came out just yesterday or whatever, you can see the graphics are better. It's too bad. Oh, sorry. It's too bad that they didn't go to Unreal Engine 5. But remember, keep in mind, this was in 2017. So Unreal Engine 5 wasn't even out in 2017. But I think transitioning from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 is certainly an upgrade they could do down the road. But if you look at, this is the 2017 trailer for Project TL, and at the time nobody knew it was called Throne of Liberty. It was just called Project TL. And take a look at this trailer, because this is when the game was still isometric, and it was still pretty much a Lost Ark clone, so to speak. And I think that's why they went away from the isometric views, because they're like, we're going to get our ass kicked by Lost Ark. You can't go up against Lost Ark. It just has too big a crowd. But you can see here, definitely, this looks like Unreal Engine 4. Presented by just NC, not NCSoft, just NC. Boobs. And now you can immediately see it's going to go into a isometric gameplay. Let me check the graphics. Yeah, quality doesn't seem that great. So very, very Lost Ark here, but they do rotate the camera here. He also does something interesting here. He uses a grappling hook to pull some stone pillar down on the enemy, which is kind of an interesting thing. Right here, he grapples this stone column and pulls it down on these guys, which is actually pretty cool. It's so it's so hard to tell, like, watching this video. It's so hard. I mean, it looks like the game's isometric, but they do so many shots where it's not isometric, where you see the camera being placed in front or behind, and it's hard to tell. Is it just a cinematic? You know, and a lot of it just looks like it's a cinematic mix with some isometric gameplay. It's very, very kind of hard to tell. That's pretty cool looking. And now here we're going into like a siege. But this is an isometric view here. And again, this looks like right out of Lost Ark, because in Lost Ark, at the beginning of the game, like when you're like level 20 or 30 or something, you go into a castle siege, and they change the camera views on that castle siege a little bit. They're different than the normal views. So this is so reminiscent of Lost Ark. It's actually a pretty cool trailer.
I'm gonna be real with you all. When NCSoft revealed gameplay here at the directly into the trailer, because I know that's what a lot of you are here for. It's what a lot of you guys want to see. And this is supposedly full in-game gameplay. Yeah, this really does look a lot different to Project TL. Wow. Man. Man. We actually get our first look at a proper UI. Why? The HP bars.
Sorry, I had my microphone muted. What I was saying was, this looks like a real, like I was just saying that the graphics right here looks very much like Black Desert. This looks very much like Black Desert. It looks really good. I love the shadows are great. The lighting is really good. And you can even see, this looks, again, it looks very much like Black Desert in that we see the water puddles, which you see in Black Desert after it rains. And I wonder if they've got a rain system similar to Black Desert. Again, this is Unreal Engine 4, though, so it's not... I mean, I think Black Desert is a custom engine. It's a custom game engine, I believe. I'm pretty sure that Pearl Abyss has its own... Yeah, I'm well, let's just double check, but I'm pretty sure that Black Desert is a proprietary engine that they've developed themselves. The game uses Pearl Abyss's custom Black Desert game engine, specifically created to handle the fast rendering required for its seamless world and large-scale castle sieges. So, and here you see the grappling hook they have, which looks pretty cool.
We actually get our...
Not a fan of the animation of the chain. I think that I don't like the gold. I would have preferred this was just a regular like steel chain. So not happy with that, but that's just a minor.
First look at a proper UI.
Yeah, and the UI is so clean. There's hardly anything on the UI. It's just
the HP bars, your stamina bar.
This is all like cutscenes. I don't know what this is. Every time they show this part of the video, I don't really get what this is here. It's almost like I don't really get this part, like, because I can't read. I mean, this is Korean, right? And there's these different symbols. This looks like a move, like a moving directional symbols. This is like a rotation. Yeah, I don't know what this is. You know what? Hold on. Let me get my phone out, because we can do a Google Translate here and see if we can figure this out. Let's go. We're going to do Korean to English. Let's see. Korean. Do I have Korean on here? I hope I do. Okay, Korean. Camera. All right. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, it says, the text at the bottom says, it must have been a wolf skull. I applied force, but the chin doesn't open anymore. Let's check the armband that was in his mouth. So it's some sort of a quest dialogue, and then the text on the left side of the screen The first one, it says go to. The next one, go to operate. The next one says remove obstructions. Actually, how many are there? Let's see if I can get all of them in here. Yeah, go to, something to operate, remove obstructions, move, and rotation. So, yeah, so this is some sort of a quest item, and it's giving you a description. It's saying, like I said, it's saying it must have been a wolf skull. I applied force, but the chin, the jaw doesn't open anymore. Let's check the armband that was in its mouth. So some sort of a quest item.
It
Again, here we also see. I don't know why it's black and white. I think what's happening here is he's activated his pulling mechanic. That he has the ability to pull enemies to him, and so what it's doing is it's making it easier for him to see the enemies on the landscape that he can target. I'm going to guess this is very similar to Aelion's Warlord ability, which pulls multiple characters to you, where you can like drag, almost like, I don't think you can drag select, but you could really quickly hit it and then click on the enemies and pull like up to 4, 5, or 6 mobs to you at once. That's what it looks like to me. Let's rewind it. It looks like quest item. It looks, see, he hits something and it shoots out, turns the landscape more almost black and white, and then he shoots this out.
It is about damn time, and it looks great.
Now, I really like this part of the combat. I really like, because what we're seeing a couple of interesting things here. Let's put it in half speed.
About damn time, and
actually want to. Okay, so he pulls this mob to him. Slash. Okay. What I like about this is that they have really good graphical representation of the conal attack. And this really helps you to know your range of abilities. When you have this kind of beautiful, representation of the conal attack of your weapon, it gives you a great representation of, what you're, how close you have to be to mobs, and it just really helps you. And it's also good for PvP, so people know, each attack where it's going. Also, if you saw, again, if we reference Black Desert, see these things here? I don't know what's going on here. It's saying +8, +115. I don't know if this is experience. Okay, so experience. And then probably money, I'm guessing. Yeah, so as he's killing these mobs, he's automatically getting the loot, which is the gold, I guess, or whatever. And he's getting experience. I was hoping it was more like how in Black Desert, when you execute certain moves, you apply certain buffs to yourself or debuffs to the enemy. And I was hoping that's what it was, because that would have made the combat system more intricate and more skillful. But that doesn't look like that's the case. So that's kind of a bummer, actually. Yeah, just I don't know if it's. I'm trying to see if it's really tab targeting. I don't see any reticules. What's interesting here is that we see the player nameplate here on the bottom left corner, but we don't see the targeting, enemy nameplate. Let's pull up the original video. I don't know if he's got it here. I don't want his streamer window to block it off. Let's go. God, where is the NCSoft YouTube? Here, this is it. We might also be able to get... Yeah, sweet. Let's go with 4K and see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks a lot better in 4K. Look at that. It looks sweet in 4K. That armor looks really good. Oh yeah, see, I haven't watched the video in 4K yet, but it makes a huge difference. This looks so much like Black Desert to me. This right here, I mean, the character models I don't think are... they're different than Black Desert. I don't know if I can say they're better or worse. My initial reaction is that the armor looks a little crisper, but definitely the world itself looks so much like Black Desert, like the stone, the quality of the ground. Yeah, let's see if we can get a good look right here of the water on the ground. It looks so much like Black Desert. Now here, not so much. Now that last scene looked great, but now we get here, and the quality really seems to me to drop off a lot. Like I don't know why. Like the rock textures just aren't very detailed. The flowers are these flowers are really non-detailed. There's not a lot of detail in these flowers. They look almost low res. And the stone too is a little bit... I think this looks low res. These leaves look pretty. So the quality in this scene here is a huge drop off, in my opinion, from even the rocks here. Or or like if we go back, to here too, the quality is much higher. And then of course this here, to me, is the best looking quality we've seen. But this is in a city. But the quality of these textures looks much higher. I mean, look at the detail in the wood here. Look at the detail on like here on the ground. You can see a lot of detail. The water, the rocks, the rock wall over here is very detailed. Here, the stone. See all the detail in the stone? There's quite a bit of detail. It's not the best detail I've ever seen, but it's pretty good. But then you get here, especially, I mean, look at the detail here. The detail in the bark of the tree doesn't look as good. The detail down here on the stones doesn't look as good. The detail here doesn't look as good. These flowers and these leaves, everything here and look at this here too. None of this looks anywhere near as good, which is kind of a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping it's not one of those games where they just make the golden path really good, which is like, the cities are going to look great, the textures are higher res, they've spent more times on prettying those things up. But in the end, as long as parts of the world look really great, it's not going to bother me too much. And as long as the character models look really good. You can see here the character model looks pretty good. It kind of reminds me of Vindictus, And here in 4K. Here, let's take a look. So here, the clouds look pretty good. I don't think the skybox looks as good as Black Desert's. The combat looks nice. The animations look pretty good. Again, I don't think the enemies detailing is quite as high either as Black Desert. It doesn't look quite as good. But I mean, this was an isometric game, and they've switched it to a third person. So I don't know how many other things they had to change. I would imagine even in the isometric games, they still had all the textures and stuff. So they shouldn't have had to change too much from a texture point of view. I will say the lighting looks really good. Look at the lighting, the sparks, and the shadows here look really nice. Here too, the lighting looks good. I like the combat and the impactfulness of the arrows hitting the target. And I love this character model of this big... It almost looks like a huge goblin, more than an ogre, but it could be an ogre too, but almost looks like a massive goblin. But I really like the impact sound of the arrow hitting the enemy. Let's turn the volume up. You can hear that. I mean, you see, this is really well done because you see the arrow hit and then you see the particle effects flying off. So it's very easy to see, where you're making contact. Okay, and this is the travel form. So in this game, In this game, you instead of having mounts and instead of having any kind of fast travel in this game, what they've done is they've allowed you to shapeshift into one of 3 different forms. One is the flying form, and this is what we're seeing here. We're actually what looks like a flying meter. Now remember, this is NCSoft, and NCSoft made Ion, and Ion was one of the first MMOs ever where characters could fly around. Like characters had wings. In Ion, you had wings, and you could fly around, and you could do combat in the air. And also in Ion, you had a flight meter. You had a flight time meter. So this is something they've implemented before. So it looks like you can change into flight form, but you can only stay in the air for so long. And I think that's a good decision. I think being able to stay in the air all the time would have made people traverse the land too quickly. And it's just nice when people are on the ground a lot because it makes the world feel more alive. Let's see if we can see how fast the meter goes down at all during this. It looks like it's going down pretty fast. And you can see that meter is like, each tick of this 100 is faster than a second even. I'd say that even like maybe that 3 ticks, would go off in a second. So we figure 3 ticks, that's like what? So we're talking maybe 30 seconds of flight time here is what it looks like to me. And, like Ion or other games, they may give us abilities to equip gear that increases our flight time, increases the duration. But I'm going to guess this is around a 30-second meter. Okay, and here we get the other travel form, which is the wolf, the wolf form. So and you can tell because the wolves have these, and also the birds. Notice how when you're in flight, you don't see it here, but you will see it later in the video. Here you see these highlighted on the tails and the tips of the ears. And that's I think that's, although this person here is a different type of form. Look, he looks like a tiger. So that's interesting. I thought the forms were going to be the same, but it looks like they're not. That's actually really cool. Now look at all these wolves over here and all around. So these are all players. These are all players in shapeshift form going towards a boss fight. And notice how this guy, the main character we're watching, from the player's perspective here, this guy has just shapeshifted out of his tiger form into his player character form. And if you watch here, it looks like this guy right here, this wolf is starting to shapeshift. And this guy over here already shapeshifted into a humanoid form. So as you watch this video, look at the wolves and see how they all change into people. See that? You can see this person shift right out. And I like that the world, like, I found some screenshots of day-night, which were really cool. Here, I'll show you really quick if you pull in my Discord. Like right here. This is pretty good. Let's open the original. You can see that nighttime's fairly dark. At least this is daytime, this is nighttime. So nighttime's not like super, super dark, but it's pretty dark. That's like Black Desert nighttime. I think they've taken a lot of inspiration from, at least they seem to have taken a lot of inspiration from Black Desert. But what's cool here is you have what looks like a lot of open world bosses. Like in this trailer, we see like a bunch of open world bosses. And they just showed 4 different ones, and here's a 5th one. They showed like, oh, look at this. We've got like some sort of a dragon. We've got like some sort of a tree. Some sort of what looks like a Afridi almost from Dungeons and Dragons, or some sort of demon, almost like a Balrog from Lord of the Rings. But he had wings, and then here's another, and here's the Balrog. This guy looks like a Balrog from Lord of the Rings. So he's got the big horns. He's freaking all in light up in molten lava flame. Here we've got some sort of a sandworm or something. Or no, that's like a basilisk or something. And here we've got another like armored dinosaur-looking creature. Now here, take a look at the armor. I really like the armor in this game. This leather looks fantastic. It looks like real leather. Notice the layers of this armor. Notice you can see that this is raised, and then this leather here is raised higher than this piece of leather. So, and then the detail in the cloth, even the way the cloth sits across her body, this is really, really good. And even these arrows look really nice. So, really impressed with the armor in this game. And the cloth here also I really like. So yeah, the one thing that NCSoft has always done is they've put out good video games. The problem with NCSoft is their games tend to be grindy, and they tend to be, in more recent years, pay to win. But I think all MMOs in today's world are pretty much pay to win, sadly. I don't think we have a whole lot of option anymore on the... they just all seem to be pay to win. And so I think what you look for is, I mean, like if the game's pay to win, but you can still just play the game and have fun. Like for example, like Lost Ark. Like Lost Ark is heavily pay to win, but if it was a third-person game like this here, I would still be playing Lost Ark because it had a really cool combat system. But because it was isometric click to move, on top of all the pay-to-win and the RNG mechanics, it was just too much. It was too many things about the game I didn't like. But if it was third-person camera, I probably would still be playing the game because the combat was so fun. So if we have a game that's got good PvP, that's got good PvE, and has really fun third-person combat, which is what this game looks like, it has all of those things, then I can forgive some pay-to-win because I just won't pay any money. If I progress a little slower than other players in the game, I don't care. As long as I'm having fun. The other thing I've been looking at, but I haven't been able to spot it, but I'm trying so hard to see if there's a lock-on target. Like, I've not seen in any of these screenshots where we see like a highlighted circle beneath an enemy's feet or like some sort of a targeting nameplate on an enemy. Like, look for that. I don't see it. Like, maybe they, for the video purposes, they probably turned it off. But, like, nowhere have we seen any kind of a targeting reticule on the ground or anything. Well, I think it's pretty clear in all these shots, they have the UI hidden. If you go back, all of these, there's just no UI whatsoever. But even when we saw the UI, like, let's go back to, let's see, here. The UI is up because we see the character's plate down here, and we see the enemy, but and we do see a circle here. See that? So there is a target there. So let's go back a little bit. So there is a circle, and it's a very light circle, which I like. It's not like really annoying. Kind of a cool looking shield. So there is a targeting reticule. So there is like tab targeting, it looks like. This looks like very much like kind of like Black Desert because I don't think any of these were targeted. Like these wolves here, he's just attacking. I didn't see any kind of like targeting reticule. Oh wait, I think I did see one on that wolf. Let's see if I can. There's a white line here. Don't know if that's it. No, see, I don't see it. I think he's just attacking. It's very Black Desert. And notice this one here, there's no targeting reticule on the ground, lock on target. And again, it looks like the UI is up. We see his potion. We see this looks like his grappling hook. So it looks like he's got grappling hook on 3, whatever, he's got 2. So these are some of his keybinds. Interesting though, this is a little kind of disconcerting. If this is your hotbar, like, this could be one of those weird games where you don't have that many abilities. Because, I mean, you've got 1, which I'm assuming is, I don't know, it looks like shield bash maybe. 2 is attack, 3 is grapple, and 4 maybe is your pulling mechanic where you pull people. I don't know, but that's kind of interesting. Let me rewind this a bit. And let's go back to slow speed. We're going to get rid of the volume. I just want to see which these abilities activate while he's actually doing stuff. Okay, so he's getting ready. He hit this button here. And yeah, so I was right. This is his shield slam. You can see because it's 2 images of a character moving forward, lowering their shoulder. So he hit 1 here, and it did a shield slam. And then we don't get to see him hit any other skill. Now here we have a ranger, and they have a couple bow attacks. I'm not sure what this ability is. And let's go ahead and slow it down even further. Look at this guy. Look at this guy's belly flop. Oh, this is a pretty cool attack maneuver. Look at this guy. He's just going to come in and... Look, he just came in and did a belly flop. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys remember in Terra, there was some NPCs that used to belly flop. Do a lot of damage, too. I mean, you can see when this guy hit the ground, it was like, boom. I would not have wanted to be under this guy when he landed from that belly flop. I bet that does some massive damage. Now he's going to pull... Now, so it looks to me like this is just his auto attack because I don't see any of his hotbar buttons being, activated. This just looks like some sort of auto attack. Now, oh, wait, look at this. He's weapon swapping. Okay. This is what I was wondering. So this is like Guild Wars 2. So what we have in this combat system is, it looks like to me, so this kind of sucks. This is going to be it's going to be a pretty simplistic combat system if they go this route. Like if there's not more skills that we can't see, because right now I'm only seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 abilities, and then you can weapon swap. So then there's a total of only 8 abilities, which is not a lot. And I'm not a fan. I've always said in the past that my sweet spot for skills is somewhere between 15 and 25. At a minimum, I like to have at least 15 abilities. So if this game only has like 8 abilities, that would really suck. But watch the bar on the bottom right. It's going to switch when he pulls out his sword. Now he pulls the sword out. And now, yeah, use the arrow. Really cool animation. Oh, man, just freaking love that. Look at the blood that comes out of this enemy when the arrow hits him. Look at that big gush of blood shoots out. That's awesome. Now you can see the bar switches when he goes to his sword. Really cool animation of him drawing the sword out. That was neat. And again, love the animations of the sword swinging arc, so you can see where the cone of attack is. You're gonna know exactly where mobs have to be for you to hit them. Notice the swing started about like 10 o'clock, and then went all the way back to almost like 6. If you're thinking about, the face of a clock is like this, and this would be 12. The swing started like over here, like at 10. Swung all the way around straight behind him to 6. So if someone was here and he started the swing and they dodged into this area, I'm going to guess that they probably would not have been hit. Ooh, and he just got nailed by that ability. But it didn't do much damage, though. Like, let's watch his health down here. Actually, that did no damage to him. So that's interesting. Let's see where it lands. Yeah, I don't know how this ability does no damage to him. Again, really cool swinging arc. Love it. Cool animations. I don't know how that doesn't do any damage. You know what it could be? It's possible that because they were filming this for, the trailer, they might have turned damage off or something. Because I saw blood. Yeah, they must have, because you can see the blood come off of our player here, and his health doesn't move at all. So okay, and then here we're flying into our flight form. And this this is really cool. Now, this is what I was gonna mention earlier. All these birds have these stripes on their wings. These are all players. So what happens here is the world boss does an ability that hits the ground that knocks everybody up into the air, and to not take damage, everybody shapeshifts into their flight form. So see, all the players just got knocked in the air. Watch how they're all going to turn into birds, or shapeshift into their flight form. See that? They all did. I love how we see the guy grapple hook up to this siege. Looks like a siege machine, like some sort of a rock, Yeah, so it looks like you have these NPCs that work with you. And again, here's players in flight form coming over into the castle. So that's pretty much it. I think, yeah, the one thing I saw there that the one thing that I see that really is a little bit scary is the hotbar. I'm only seeing the 4 skills for his weapon that he's got pulled out, the sword. I'm hoping, that you'll be able to weapon swap maybe between 3 different weapon sets. Like right now he's got like what looks like a great sword, and I think it's a great sword. Yeah, and then we also saw that if you go back here, he's using a bow, right? And then if you go further back, he's using a sword and a shield. Now, most games won't let you weapon swap between 3 things, but if they did that, I would be really happy with that, because if you only have 4 abilities per weapons that you have equipped, that would suck. Hey, what's up for us? Will I ever try Final Fantasy 14 again? I did reactivate my sub 2 days ago, and I thought about maybe jumping back and playing a little bit. But the problem for me right now is every time I try to play any MMO, I get in and I play it for 10, 20 minutes and I just find myself bored. Like when I played WoW like today for like 10 minutes and I was just bored. I played, just because I've played those games so many times. Now, Final Fantasy I haven't played a ton of times, and I must say that I did log into it a couple days ago, and it was a nice experience. I mean, the Final Fantasy game engine is really smooth. When you think about the smoothness of game engines, Final Fantasy is right up there with WoW. It's very fluid. I just don't like the animations of combat that much, but all my keybinds are still there. So yeah, I probably will play it again. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow, maybe I'll play it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm only level 51 with my paladin, and I would like to get through the story, because I always hear how great the story is. And then they're gonna make, and they also have, what's the cool thing about Final Fantasy, and I'll talk about that next actually, is that they do have an update coming down the road. They do have an update coming down the road in Final Fantasy where they're going to improve, the graphical quality of the game, and they're actually doing something in Final Fantasy which I haven't gotten to yet because I'm still stuck at the first expansion. Like I think I'm still in the Realm Reborn content, but I guess later down the road when you get into later expansions, you get these NPCs that group with you, and you can go on and do quests and stuff with these NPCs that are in your group. I guess later on, down the line, they're planning on adding kind of almost like a solo player mode in Final Fantasy where you can, in 6.1 onwards. Like, so what they're talking about adding content so that players can play Final Fantasy almost completely single player. Like because you'll just use those NPCs. You'll like go into raids and shit with a full NPC group. So and the reason they're doing that is because they said that a lot of people have a lot of anxiety about playing with other players because... Here, hold on a second. Sorry about that. Is they have anxiety playing with other players because, the players might feel like they're not playing well, or other players will yell at them because they're not playing well. And you get that a lot in today's MMOs because people are so rude and people are so like elitist and they're just assholes basically. So it can be very difficult to want to group with players in today's MMOs because there's so many jerks. And so Final Fantasy, they've recognized that and said, hey, you know what? We're going to give you the ability that if you have some sort of grouping anxiety, that we'll let you play solo player, solo. Unique Dungeons WCs right now is only in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. Yeah, but they're gonna expand on that system, is what the guy was talking about, Yoshi or whatever his name is. Oh, sorry, but let me finish this. I'm almost done with this dissecting this video. The thing about this video, like I said, that really scares me is the combat system. I mean, I love the way the combat looks, but what scares me is that it doesn't look like we have that many abilities. I mean, we've got our sword and shield here, and we have 5 abilities. And that's, I mean, not even 5. I'm sorry, 4 abilities. And then when you weapon swap to your other weapon set, you have 4. So that's only 8 skills. That would make this one a. I mean, that would be pretty awful. That would make this game like if you guys have seen, I might have it on my stream. Like it would be basically this would be Bless Unleashed. If you guys have played Bless Unleashed, I think I have a video of me playing it. Yeah. Yeah, actually I had 3 hours and 40 minutes of me playing it on this stream. So if you look at Bless Unleashed, it was like that. I mean, and actually Bless Unleashed's combat system was really fun. But yeah, it was like, you know, basically you didn't have a lot of abilities. I don't even see my abilities on the screen. But you had very few attacks, but they did chain together. There were certain ways you could chain abilities together that made them more powerful. So like you can see here how when I'm Bless Unleashed, how I'm doing stuff, it's saying it basically was just like a left, right system. So you'd be like left click would do like a combo, and if I did like left, it would do a combo. And if I did like left, right, that would be a different combo. And if I did left, right, that would be another combo. So, you know what I mean? They're just variations on your weapons. So, and it was actually, the combat in Bless Unleashed was actually pretty good. Actually, you know, that game's still around. Maybe I should do another stream. Bless Unleashed actually had some pretty fun combat. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty good combat. Wasn't like the best, but it was pretty fun. But this game here, you know, Project TL, Throne and Liberty, it's more like Guild Wars 2, where you're just weapon swapping and getting. But Guild Wars 2, remember, has like 5, I think. I mean, you have like in Guild Wars 2, you end up with around 15 skills, which is kind of like my bare minimum for a combat system. You know, I always say that I like between 15 and 25, but. Now, but here you see him using the bow, right? So you see his bow bar, and actually he's got 5. No, okay, this is interesting. There's 5 abilities here, so that gives me a little bit of hope. And then if we go back to this one, there's only 4, so maybe it's a level thing. Like maybe you get more abilities as you level up, and the bar grows out. I really hope that's the case. Because see, he's only got 4 skills. This caster's only got 4 skills. And here he's only got 4 skills with the sword and shield. But here he's got the bow out, and he's got 5. Now he switches to the sword, though, and he's down to just 4. So you can do dungeons with Squadron from Grand Company in the Realm Reborn. And what is HW again? It was, I can't remember. But only the leveling ones, and you need to rank up in your Grand Company. So grind up some Grand Company seals. Yeah, I remember the Grand Company seals. And the Squadron Card is the base for the trust system, so you can see how they change things over time, building systems, improving them over time. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I definitely probably will play some more Final Fantasy. I tried to play World of Warcraft, and I kept thinking I was trying to get these characters ready for Wrath of Lich King, because Wrath of the Lich King is probably going to come out at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, but it's tough for me to play WoW because I've played it so much, and I don't really... The problem with World of Warcraft for me right now, anyways, it's really difficult. Yeah, Heaven's Word, thank you. I couldn't remember. The problem with WoW right now is it's really hard to find people to play with. Like, I mean, there'll be a ton of people in the server, but like, I mean, it's not super hard. You can still find groups and stuff, but it's like hard to find people to do like quests with. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not in a guild. I've gotten in a few guilds, but they're just not big enough. But anyways, plus I've just done it all. So, but anyways, I'll continue to probably play WoW a little bit on and off here and there. But I am definitely looking for something, you know, different to play. But I do think this game here looks really good. If they implement the things in Throne and Liberty they say they're going to implement, this game actually could be really fun. But I'm a little concerned about the I mean, looking at these hotbars, I'm a little concerned that the combat system might be too simplistic. You know, if you go to Black Desert has a much more way more complex system, right? It's way more complicated, and not that it's like the best combat system, because honestly, I don't think Black Desert is the best. I think it's probably the second best. I mean, I actually like Terra's combat better than Black Desert's. I thought it was a little bit more based on. I thought it was a little bit more skill based. Like Black Desert just had a lot of like wombo combos, a lot of like stun somebody and just annihilate them while they're in their stun. Yeah, WoW's going downhill. It's hard to play WoW because you just have this sense that when you're in the game, there's this kind of somber mood, and that just there's like this black cloud that just seems to sit at the top of WoW, and it makes it really difficult to like to play and be as like I used to play WoW and I used to have so much fun. I used to be so excited to get in and log in and play, and now I still have that like if I'm not playing the game and I watch videos on WoW, like I still it elicits good feelings. I'm like, oh man, I love World of Warcraft. I want to play. But then once I get in there and I start seeing all the people, want to boost, buying boosts, selling boosts, it's just not the game that it used to be. Lost Ark. There's other games out there, but I mean, all those games like Lost Ark is isometric, which I can't stand, so I can't play Lost Ark. New World, New World's there are too many. They screwed it up with too many cheaters and hacks. So we're still waiting to see if that can recover. I don't know if it can. Final Fantasy 14, I don't like the combat. Guild Wars 2 is actually pretty fun. But the combat's... Guild Wars 2 is weird. Guild Wars 2 is one of those... I don't know. Guild Wars 2 is one of those weird games because it's hard for me to say why I don't have as much fun in Guild Wars 2 as I should. Because if you look at the individual pieces of Guild Wars 2, like it's got nice graphics. It's got cool combat, It's got pretty decent questing. I haven't done a lot of dungeons in Guild Wars, and honestly, the ones I have were pretty lackluster. And I've only done some of the raids, whatever they're called, those instant raids, and they were okay. And then Black Desert, I like Black Desert, but it's just kind of a grindy game. And Elder Scrolls Online, the combat's absolutely horrible, so I can't really play that. I never can get into ESO at all because the combat's just so bad. Yeah, I don't know. I like the art style in Guild Wars 2, but I think the thing with Guild Wars 2 that bugs me is that the combat doesn't have good impactful feel to it. It doesn't have that like impact. And a lot of times when I'm fighting mobs in Guild Wars 2, that you're swinging and you're doing all this shit, but it feels like it's hard to see how your abilities are hitting stuff. It just feels like you're swinging feathers. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm swinging a bunch of like turkey feathers at the enemy. There's it doesn't. There's no impact to it. Like this sequence right here is really good because there's so much impact in this sequence here where he's hitting this guy with his bow, but the sequence starts off brilliantly where the enemy does this huge belly flop dive, right? And we're going to put it down in 0.25. So, he does this huge belly flop, hits the ground, boom! This guy backed away, so he didn't get hit by it. Boom! And then we shoot this arrow, and it hits him, and this big spurt of blood shoots out. And it's cool. And when I play it at normal speed, you'll hear the sound, and it sounds good. And now he has this really beautiful animation of him drawing his two-handed weapon. He draws it out from his sheath, puts both hands on it. So he starts to draw it with one arm. And then as he gets it over his head, his left arm comes around and grabs the handle. So really nice, well-done animation there. I like that. And then brings the sword back. That was kind of a clunky bring back. Does this huge swing. And again, really cool. Blood. You can see the blood flying. Now the enemy does this huge attack. And so now that you've seen these, let's rewind it. Play it at normal speed. And you'll hear the audio for these moves. They're really good. So to me, the most important thing in combat is the feeling of impact. So you have to have really good sound effects for that. And you have to have clear visuals that indicate where your weapons are making contact with the enemies. The hitboxes. So... boom. Thud. I mean, you heard the sounds. You heard the sounds. Well, I played Elden Ring, and I like the combat in Elden Ring, but man, that game is freaking... I mean, I like the combat in Elden Ring, but it's the first Souls game I ever played, so I got my ass handed to me a lot because it was pretty difficult, and it just was one of those things where it just felt like all you were doing is fighting the same mob over and over again until you figured out his tells, and then you just abused the tells and killed him. So I don't really like that as a gameplay mechanic. Like, okay, I'm going to fight this boss for 20, 30 minutes, figure out what he does, memorize his patterns, then I'm going to beat him, then I'll move on to the next one, and basically just rinse and repeat. So I found that to be a very repetitive and boring mechanic in Elden Ring. And also just was kind of frustrating to die a lot because I did a lot of World of Warcraft hardcore mode where I'd level like from 1 to 60 without dying at all. So like just dying in general to me was kind of gut wrenching because I'm not used to dying in games. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, the combat is pretty cool though. It's got good impact. Now, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know because they say there's no fast travel in this game, but it looks to me like they summoned a bunch of people here. Maybe there's just like a couple of rare instances where you have like summoning stone or something. And that looks to me like they summoned a bunch of people. So now if we go to, and I've watched this video 1,000 times. I've dissected this video about as much as I can. Although I'm sure I'll watch it another 1,000 times before the game actually comes out at the end of this year. But let's look at Final Fantasy 14 updated graphics. So,
hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be going.
I'd actually prefer to watch the original. Let's see, Final Fantasy. I don't know that. Where's the original video?
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video
That's the one I just clicked on before. But you can see, I actually wanted to watch the original here. I think there we go.
You just have this.
Yeah.
You just have this look of like a big
Yeah.
gas on her face.
Yeah.
So you see Yoshi here, but they go through this video and they start.
15年ぶりに買い替えたスモークジャンパーブーツに黒い飲める人はお酒飲みな
So I want to touch upon some of those.
ってくれる人たちもたくさんいて
This is interesting. They're showing over the past 11 years, kind of like the development timeline. But pretty soon we're going to get into, let's see. Yeah, so here they're talking about advancements as a solo, as a solo player. And then they're going to do the first, graphical update. Actually, it was funny. Jack Green, what's up? Did I see the Just Online coming? Yes, I did, Jack Green. I did see that. And actually, I tried to reset up my Justice Online because I used to be able to play Justice Online, Jack Green. I set up the Chinese version and played it through a VPN. But I wasn't able to reset that up again the last couple days because I wanted to jump back in and play it again. But it's very difficult to play because there wasn't an English translation. So, everything was in Chinese. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing. This is shaping up to be a really good year, for MMOs because Justice Online is pretty good. I think it's still pretty popular in China, and I think it'll definitely. It's got an amazing housing system. Like the housing system in Justice Online is actually really nice. The combat is like, I don't know. The combat's good, but it's not like Black Desert combat. It's not that that deep, but it's pretty good. We'll look at Justice Online after we talk about this. But yeah, I did see that agreement. I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. You said they now require a social to play? What do you mean they now require a social? Oh yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they did some weird stuff, some changes. Like I couldn't get in because it kept asking me to validate my Chinese name. And I had to go to a website and put in a Chinese name, and then it gave me a code. Then I had to go back into the game and type in a code. And there was all these extra restrictions they added, and it was really weird. But anyways, they're doing the first graphical update. It was funny because I was talking to just literally a week ago, and I was saying to Einby, I told him, hey, there's a lot of games out there that are good games, but they're just so old they don't look that good. And I said if they would give them a really big graphical overhaul, I'd probably go back and play them. And I said games like Lord of the Rings Online, which is a really good MMO, but the graphics just aren't up to snuff. I said if they gave Lord of the Rings Online like a really huge graphical overhaul, I would play the game. And I said Final Fantasy XIV, I said the graphics are pretty good, but they could be so much better. And I said if they overhauled the graphics in that, I'd probably give me more incentive to play. And he's like, oh, they are overhauling the graphics. I'm like, what? So he really surprised me. Yeah, it's got the anti-addiction thing. Yep. Yeah, it has the anti-addiction, which is really bizarre. Yeah, and I tried to set that game back up a couple days ago, Jagreem, and I got it installed because I have an account, right? Like, let's see if I can. Justice Online. Here, let's see if I've got my... Here, hold on. Okay, so here we have like the Justice Online website. So if we go, let's see, go here, look here, and where is the? I don't want the client download. It is taking its own sweet time loading this. Yeah, sometimes the site's really slow. But anyways, I actually do. Let's see, just why is that not loading? Hold on a second. I think it's because I think it's because I don't have my VPN going. But anyways, I do have an account for Justice Online, and I can log in. But if I don't have exit lag, if I had exit lag running, we'd get it working. But I don't have exit lag running right this second. But Breach is having a lot of fun at Final Fantasy XIV Housing Sim. His guild are amazing role players. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, so I definitely think I'll go back and play Final Fantasy XIV like we have. Here, hold on a second. Let's see, where is it? Final Fantasy. Did I uninstall it? I don't think I did. Or I hope I didn't. I didn't. Okay, good. So we have that. But they're doing the graphical update, and what you look at, yes, this trust compatibility for all main scenario dungeons, 4-player trials to be added in patch 6.1 to 6.5. So that's that trust compatibility that you were talking about, and that'll enable you to do stuff as a single player, which is kind of interesting. I mean, back in the day, years ago, I would have been totally against that, but in today's MMO world, with there's being so many jerks in these games, and it being hard to get to play with people that are just friendly, nice people, I think it's a pretty good thing. Oh, this is interesting. He said they won't be this realistic. Photorealism is not the goal. Yeah.
なんか疲れた吉田って書かれてる。
So I guess this is how good they can make them look, but they're not going to make them look quite that good. I guess that's what they're saying. But here's the old models on the left, and here's the newer ones on the right. So you can see that, especially around the eyes, the new models look a lot better, and it's actually a real skin texture. It's not just this shader. And the lips also looked really bad. These lips look really, really bad. They look a lot better. The ears look better. But really the eyes, I think, just look so much better. The hair looks better, but the hair actually in Final Fantasy never looked bad, but it definitely looks better in, in here. So that's a pretty big, And then here you've got the, whatever these guys are called. Just their eyes. Again, the eyes look better. This one's, there's not a whole lot of changes on this one, I don't think. I mean, it doesn't show off the updates as well. And then here you've got the upgraded lighting, and you can see the one on the right does look quite a bit better. Especially when you look at, the the stained glass windows. You see these windows in the background, and the detail in the stained glass is much higher quality on these than it is on these on the left. And you can also see the lighting is really illuminating the different various pieces of the arches here, and where here it's just all kind of grayed out. You can't even hardly see any of the detail. Where here it's so much better. So yeah, the graphics are actually the Lalafels, whatever. So definitely going to look better. You know, one of my biggest complaints with Final Fantasy is I absolutely can't stand. I mean, it's like so far from an open world game. Like, and that's the same thing with Lost Ark. Lost Ark and Final Fantasy, the maps are so similar in that you're just tunneled through these horrible zones. Right? So like in Lost Ark, or like in Final Fantasy, let's see if we can get one up here. Final Fantasy 14. Give me one here. This is what I'm talking about. Maps like this, where they're just really narrow corridors and paths. This is not an open world game. This is not an open world map. And this is what Final Fantasy has a lot of. These very, narrow, skinny maps. And Lost Ark's actually worse. Lost Ark's actually even worse. And that's something that I really dislike about both games. Do we have a Lost Ark map in here? We have a good example. Here. Here you can see the maps. It almost looks like you're like an underground dungeon, but this is what the world looks like on the top, on the surface. These kind of maps that are just they're not open world. I mean, if you're in a map and you move to the left or to the right for very long at all in Lost Ark, you're going to run into something. You're going to run into something impassable. And Final Fantasy 14 also is quite a bit like that, where if you just go in a straight direction, you're just going to run into something pretty quick because they're not huge open world maps, and that's one of my biggest complaints. I do think Final Fantasy's there's a reason for that. I mean, they had to support the PlayStation 3, I think, and so they're going to get to the point where they can stop supporting PlayStation, and they'll be able to do a lot better. But yeah, I've also heard a lot of people say that's the ARR zones, which is what I'm in, because I've played. Remember, I've still level 51 and been in the ARR zone. So yeah, he's always telling me, he's like, once you get past that, it'll get better. But it's tough, man, when you've played, when you've played all the hours I've played, which I don't know, is not like a ton of hours, but I've played quite a few, and I'm still stuck in those zones, I don't know if that's my password. No, shit. Yeah, so anyways, you can see that, the graphics are definitely going to look a lot better in the next Final Fantasy. Yeah, let's take a look at this. It's still not like amazing. It's not like, but this is a big improvement. It's definitely a big improvement. That hair looks a lot better. Here you can see how the hair is just kind of pixelated even. The striations. This looks a lot better. So yeah, I think that's going to be really cool to see. And like I said, Final Fantasy 14 doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't look bad, and I'll show you here. We can get into the game. And one thing I was saying earlier is the game engine is so smooth. Like, the movement in Final Fantasy is really good. Like, I'm just not a real big fan of the combat in Final Fantasy. So if we, let's see. So if I get off my mount here. But because there are a lot of skills in Final Fantasy, I find myself, you know, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's like here's my character. And I love the armor. I think the armor in Final Fantasy looks really good. Like, I love this belt. You know, I mean, this Einbei, I think, gave me this cosmetic. You know, and it's got these little bags and dagger. And I think the gear in this game is really good. But when they upgrade the graphics, it's gonna look even better. I have, yeah, you can see down here. I've got them set up. Oh my god. Yeah, so here I can switch to the Arcanist and the MRD, which I don't know what this class is. See, so I've got these buttons set up so I can quickly switch. Here is my ACN33, which is, what is that? Is that an Arcanist? So here's my Arcanist, I guess level 49. Here's my Conjurer, level 21. She's got a PvP gear set because I did a lot of PvP on her. And then here's my Scholar, Conjurer, and then here's my what is this? Culinarian, Armorer, Blacksmith, Carpenter, Miner. So my Miner, and then of course back to Paladin. So actually I set up all these things before. Yeah. I just have them all, I just customized them on these little macros. I don't even remember how I set it up, but it was so long ago. But yeah, I can just click these buttons to you know, to switch between all the different things. But I play mostly in my Paladin role, you know, my Paladin job. Ooh. Hallowed ground, nice. I'm trying to remember what my keybinds are. What's this one? Interject. Spirit. What's Spirits Within? I think that's a pretty cool one. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good. I mean, I like Final Fantasy, but like this is the, you know, this is, you know, what I'm dealing with. You know, all throughout my leveling in Final Fantasy, you're dealing with these very just narrow maps, which I don't like really that much. I think are pretty crappy. You know, but what can you do? But yeah, I think I'll probably play some Final Fantasy. Maybe I'll play some over the weekend. I don't know. I mean, I like the game. I definitely like Final Fantasy. I just haven't. I don't think I've gotten far enough. Yeah, no, I know what the big map looks like. I haven't gotten far enough. You know. I haven't gotten far enough into the game. You know, into the later content. What was the other thing we were talking about? Green, we were talking about Justice Online. So, yeah, Justice Online is coming out supposedly at the end of this year. So that's going to be really cool. I played Justice Online a couple times. Let's see, 1 hour.
我昨夜又梦见了那个晚上。
So this is Justice Online.
假小子出了成了大姑娘。
You must be my new wife
当年之事
because I have gray hair. I need a young wife.
不过需等你办完眼下这件要事。
真的，但凭师傅吩咐。
So we go through the beginning thing and
This is cute,
yeah.
dude.
Let's see. The cool thing about, let's see if we can find it. So this is, I mean, the graphics in Justice Online are probably the best graphics.
Do I have my own horse already?
Let's see. Yeah, like the graphics in this game, I think, are probably they're probably the best graphics of an MMO that I've played. It's because of they do such a good job with the foliage and the plants and. Do I have? Is this where I ride the bird?
Jurassic.
Yeah, look.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, here we go.
You must discover the caterpillar.
Here, something's going.
I don't want to discover the caterpillar. Ah, level 16.
Yeah, my stupid bar at the bottom is screwed up. Hate it when it does that. And just now you get on this bird. Check this out.
Now you must ride. On the wings
So
of
just look at how beautiful the water looks.
a large bird. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Of course, I was playing this through a VPN when I played Justice Online. But look at how awesome the water looks. Yeah.
Look at my sexy boots.
There's actually
Bastard.
another cool thing, but if you this game has probably the most varied foliage of any game. Like if you just look around and look, there's roses, there's grass, there's some weeds over here, there's some vines over here. I mean, there's so much. There's a flower garden up here that I don't know if I have it on this stream that just will blow your mind. I don't know if I have it on the stream. Oh, am I flying? I think I'm flying. Actually, I think it was the other video where I did this amazing flying thing. Hold on a second.
1年来极尽
Everything they do in this game.
And look at the water here. Oh my god. Look how good this looks.
Art-wise is quite beautiful. The trees, the falling flowers, you know, everything. I love the little trailing images that kind of ghost behind me. Super cool.
And I love that map. Like,
I love the little trailing images that kind of ghost behind me.
look at that. Look how cool that map is. That's such a cool map. Now, the other thing that's really cool is, first of all, these peacocks will spread their tail feathers, like real peacocks, which is just awesome. These peacocks actually will spread their tail feathers all the way out, and they're just NPCs. They're just peacocks. There's leaves on the ground at the bottom of some trees, and if you run through the leaves, they fly up off the ground into the air, and I've never seen that in an MMO.
小声一些，
他们是我说什么呢？
Oh shit.
Just Sonic.
You can see these leaves here. And if you run through them, they'll fly up in the air. We have... I want to show you guys the flying, because the
我去查
flying
真相。
is insane.
This game is not coming to. I was in a full blood rage.
Where is it? Okay, so here I'm going to do some flying. Check out the flying. Look at how awesome the flying is in this game. It's unbelievable. Look at this. It's like you can just do this. I mean, I could just fly around for like half an hour and have fun because it's just so enjoyable to fly around. Look at that. I'm like zipping around through the sky like Superman. I'm like literally like Superman.
But you won't find better art in an MMO than Justice
Yeah.
Online. I think this is the best
Yeah.
game.
Look at just the amount of attention to detail in this game is amazing. Like the rocks, the flowers, the koya fish.
MMO wise,
I mean, look at these fish over here.
just for the art, you know, so much detail.
Look at all the detail on the
The
ground.
rocks and the water. Everything they do in this game, art wise, is quite. Looks like your monitors, like your screen is like water. I love that effect. That is so cool.
Now we're gonna do some more flying here. Now this is what I call open world. When I was talking about Final Fantasy, and like you were saying, Ferreris, that Final Fantasy gets better as you get past, like, you know, a Realm Reborn content. Well, I haven't gotten there yet, but like when you play like Lost Ark, it's not an open world game. It's like you're so tunneled through, and it's extremely linear when you're leveling. It's just go here, go here, go here. It's like one of the most linear leveling experiences I've ever experienced. And I have a hard time playing games like that are like not open world. It's just so restrictive, and because it's isometric, you see very little of the actual playing field. You know, when you're fighting, you can only see the monsters that are close to you. There could be a monster behind you and you wouldn't even see them, and I hate that. Absolutely hate it. And then you go from a game like Lost Ark or a game like Final Fantasy to this, and it's just a completely different experience.
Where we started.
Completely different experience. Look at this game. And this is releasing supposedly at the end of the year in the West. And I will be playing this game for sure. So I have 2 games coming out at the end of the year this year, 2 MMOs both of which I'm extremely interested in. You can run on water too. Check this out. I didn't do it there, but you can actually run across the water. I don't think you can swim down in the water.
I was just trying to get a look at the swimming mechanics.
I don't think you can swim down. I think I don't know. It looks like I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, I'm dripping water.
But notice when you come out of the water, you're just all wet and dripping water, which is cool.
And I'm wet.
I think I might hit a barrier. I think I'm going to hit an invisible barrier. Don't think... Yeah, see, I hit it right there. There is an invisible barrier there. You can only go so far.
Ooh, I guess we can't swim over here.
Yeah, it killed me,
I think that's
too.
what the sound was. We can't swim over there.
Yeah, so there are invisible barriers, but I mean, that's kind of a bummer, but the world is pretty big, so I went pretty far.
Can't swim.
Yeah, you can't swim there. You can see it's raining here. Rain looks really good. I don't
So you can see this game is very, very popular.
Even just the loading screen on this... The loading screen? Do I have it? Let's see. Yeah, this is the loading screen. Look how amazing just the loading screen of this game is, right? Check this out. It's just a beautiful loading screen. And look at, she's got like a little bird, like a falcon on her arm here that she just let fly off. That's so awesome. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm messing around with the login. And then look, they give you the They give you all kinds of weird shit on this game when I was playing the Chinese version, you know. And here's your character screen. Yeah, so the bad thing with Justice Online is that it's all humanoids. I mean, you're not fighting orcs, you're not fighting ogres, and that's one of the really downfalls of this game because I really love traditional fantasy games, and this is not a traditional fantasy game. This is, you know, all the enemies are pretty much going to be humanoids, you know, and that's a real bummer. And all the characters are just, you know, Asians, so that kind of sucks. But it's easy to forget when you start just walking through the world and seeing just how beautiful the world is, and you know, and the combat's actually pretty fun. Let's see if I can find some combat. Here you can see me just kind of playing with some of the combat abilities. And you can also see here at the hotbar at the bottom of the screen. So you actually have quite a few skills. I mean, you see was what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slots, and then there's 5 more here. So right there, you've got 15 different abilities, and then you've got these other bars that I mean, you could have even more. I mean, these are your hotbars, so you could have up to like 20 skills, which again is my perfect kind of in that sweet spot zone for me in MMOs. I like to have somewhere between 15 to 25 abilities, preferably the higher the better. Like if I have 25 skills, I think that's perfect. And then I don't know, do we have... I'm trying to find if there's like a... I know there's a combat sequence where I probably get my ass handed to me.
Oh. Oh.
He killed my friend.
Low blow.
Yeah, this guy's a bastard. And now I'm fighting him. And he almost kills me, I think. I was still trying to figure the combat system out.
Oh no, I've been defeated.
Yeah, I think you're meant to get defeated.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, you're meant to lose that fight.
I think I've seen the movie, but I haven't seen this. I haven't really seen the animated series. No.
Oh.
No.
And I'm kind of passing out. And now I'm seeing some sort of weird vision. I'm experiencing like visions.
I was in a full blood rage.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, definitely a game worth playing. I think Justice Online, and I don't have the. Let's see if I can. I want to show you guys the housing because it is actually really cool. And who was the person? There was a person that was doing these. Mishka does good content. If you guys are interested in a streamer, he did quite a few videos. But who else did it? There was another streamer that I used to watch that was pretty cool. I don't remember who it was though. And there's not as many videos. Let's look at this one. So here's like kind of like your your area to build to construct your house. Now you can see this character's got quite a few skills. You know, you can see down here she's got quite a few abilities. Was it Stepperoo? Maybe it was Stepperoo. Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right, Shagreem. I think it was Stepperoo. Yeah, it was. That's who it was. I like Stepperoo. He's good. Yeah, it was Stepperoo. I wonder if he's still playing. This is look at this, though. 3 years ago. You know, Justice Online's been around for, you know, a long time, right? Lineage W? You know, I haven't been to... I gotta subscribe to his channel. I haven't been to his channel in a while. Blade and Soul 2. Oh, I haven't even played Blade and Soul 2, guys. But it's so weird. It's like... It's like mobile. Oh shit, what are we doing, guys? I need to play some Blade and Soul 2 this week. Yeah, I've heard Blade and Soul 2 is actually is okay. It's not great, but I've heard it's okay. It's definitely worth playing since I've never played it. But if we go to Stepperoo and we do a search for Justice Online housing, I think, yeah. I don't see it though. Are we sure it was Stepperoo? I thought it was. There was one person who did some good videos. I actually watched him before. Yeah, shit. About 3 years ago. And here's... That's hard to believe. What is this? This is disgusting. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, I don't see it. Here's his open beta play. Oh, he's got a playlist though. Yeah, I don't see any of his. I don't see any of his build of the housing though. Open beta, online 3v3 arena, female character customization. Let's take this one out. This is like level 65 boss, he said, or party. Of course, he's playing a healer. So it does have that problem that a lot of Asian games have, where, yeah, Dungeons, where it's, you know, a lot of these Asian games, where, you know, like that same problem that Final Fantasy has, where it's a lot of flashy animations and stuff for your spells and combat abilities, but not as much impact as I would like to see. And I think that's where, you know, a lot of these Asian games have that issue. Yeah, well, I can't find a good video. I've watched some tutorials on housing, but anyways, I can't seem to find one. But here's a person doing some housing stuff, but she's putting down a lot of stuff. It looks like she's putting down crafting stations, is what it looks like to me. But you can see you've got a very big area to work with for your crafting, for your housing. I mean, yeah, it looks like she's putting down lots of things here. Anyways, I gotta get. Excuse me, I gotta get to bed. It's almost 2 a.m. Looks like she's maybe planting stuff, or Yeah. But yeah, you can see it's very, there's a lot to the housing system. It looks like she's she's like throwing down seeds and watering them and shit. So she's like doing some farming, it looks like, right now. I am surprised I didn't see more housing. See, it says the first video with real graphics and light and illumination. It's amazing this game is 5 years old, though. You know? It actually does. Justice Online does, I think, have ray tracing in it. So if you guys are running like some higher end video cards, you can enable, I think, ray tracing. I think in Justice Online. I mean, but that's. And you can see the quality of the shadows are really, really good. But I haven't played Blood. Let's see. Here, let's do the NC Soft. NC Soft launcher. I have not played Blade and Soul 2, and I would actually be pretty interested in trying that out. So I'll fire off maybe the installer because I'm sure I don't have it installed. Oh crap! I just shut my password manager down right as I needed it. All right, NC Soft. Incorrect password. Really? Oh. Ah, verification email sent. Are you kidding me? Come on. I hate it when they do that. Don't. Well, I should have clicked save this IP address. And this is. It's not junk. All right, here we go. So we've got Blade and Soul. But this doesn't look like Blade and Soul 2, does it? Or is it? Is this just the updated version? Hold on, I'm a little confused. I thought there was actually a Blade and Soul 2? Maybe they don't have the English version for Blade and Soul 2 yet. I thought they did. It says 323. Oh, did you see that? Oh, that's just an update, though. It says Blade and Soul 323. There's an update. I do not. Hmm. Jesus. Don't you hate these things? Yeah, figures. Figures. They have like play NC account, and then you have like your NC account. It's like, how many fucking accounts do you need? Anyways, I'm gonna get to bed, guys. I'm tired, but yeah, I do want to see if I can set up Blade and Soul too, because I haven't played it. I would like to try that out. So, anyways, I hope you guys are having a good night. I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. Peace out.